to start today's ceremony by dedicating this beautiful Vedic mantra from Samved for the Guru at the auspicious occasion of the Guru Purnima retreat that we are in. So I would like to request everyone to close your eyes while I recite the mantra, and we shall all dedicate to Pujya Swamiji. Dhyanamulam Guru Mantra, Pujamulam Guru Padam, Mantramulam Guru Vakyam, Mokshamulam Guru Kripa. The definition, the explanation is: the root of meditation is the form of the Guru. The root of worship is feet of the Guru. The root of mantra is the grace of Guru. The root of liberation is the grace of the Guru. Om Tat Sat Iti Shri Guru Arpanamastu. I'm sure we all are enjoying the camp so far, especially the morning walk. It's nice in the morning that we're all trying to connect with the nature, with the divine, and trying to meditate. And one of the devices say, I can't find the connection. So we all kind of looking for the connection either with ourselves or with the divine nature or with anybody. It's all about the connection. We are here to connect with ourselves and with the grace of our Guru, with the Guru. So I would like to request Sadhvi to start our next satsang of faith versus blind faith, and shower us with her words of wisdom. Thank you.
Pujya Swamiji. What a beautiful, special, and sacred day today. As we celebrate this holiday of Guru Purnima, I'll talk to you a little bit about that, a little bit about our topic of faith and blind faith. And we'll also take a couple more of the questions because I want to make sure that we do have time to at least answer all of the questions that come in. We'll have Pujya Swamiji's divine blessings and mantra chanting, and then we will have a special opportunity to be part of Guru Puja. As I mentioned on the first day, the word Guru literally means the one who removes the darkness and brings the light. And for me, the most beautiful analogy of the teaching of the guru-disciple relationship, of that aspect of light and how it impacts us in our lives, is through the metaphor of the full moon. Purnima means full moon. So Guru Purnima falls on the full moon day. And And the metaphor that for me is always very, very powerful is the metaphor of the full moon. Because most of us, if you go around and you say to people, so what do you want from life? Like, what's your goal? What you'll get from most people is some aspect of, I want to make a difference. I want to do something good in the world. I want to be a bearer of light. I want to be a bearer of goodness. Most of us have within us that urge that we really want to spread light and spread goodness and to help others. And yes, of course, we get derailed by our own egos and fears and desires. It's part of the package deal of being human. But that doesn't change the core integrity of our desire, of our goal. And when we look up in the sky and we see the full moon, for centuries and probably even millennia, people have been worshiping the full moon. There's all kinds of beautiful songs and poems and sonnets, prayers written about the full moon, about the brightness of the full moon, the beauty of the full moon, the ability of the full moon to guide sailors back to the shore, to guide people lost in the woods back out, to really bring the light in the darkness. And yet, as we all learn in 2nd or 3rd grade science class, the moon doesn't actually have any light. The moon is a piece of rock. The moon is never full or half or a quarter. It's never brighter and not brighter. Last night we had this exquisite, I don't know how many of you saw it, exquisite orange moon. I had actually never seen anything like it. It was just so beautiful, so bright. But if I were standing on the moon rather than standing on my balcony, the moon wouldn't look any different last night than it did 2 weeks ago. The light of the moon is the light of the sun. And again, this is, 2nd, 3rd grade science. The moon is rock. It's orbiting the earth in its atmosphere. It's reflecting the light of the sun onto the earth. And as the moon moves in its orbit around the earth, it comes into different angles between the sun and the earth, sometimes appearing to be full, sometimes appearing to be half, sometimes appearing to be new. When we say it's a new moon or it's a moonless night, well, the moon hasn't gone anywhere. The moon is no different on a moonless night than it is on a full moon night if you were standing on the moon. The only thing that has changed is the angle of that orbit. And this is why I love this metaphor. In our lives, when we yearn and we work and we hope and we pray to be able to bring goodness, to bring light, to bring healing, to bring help to the world around us. But so many of us feel, it's not within me, I have nothing, who am I? What am I? What can I do that's actually of any benefit to the world? And then we feel very down. And the moon for me is this incredible metaphor, an incredible inspiration, because she is just a piece of rock. No more light to the moon than there is light in any of the other pieces of rock floating aimlessly in the atmosphere or here on planet Earth. What makes the moon special is simply that angle between the sun and the earth of her orbit. That's what enables the moon to be the one who guides the sailors home, who guides people out of the forest, who inspires poems and songs and sonnets. And when she's full, you could say she's in perfect alignment. When it's a moonless night, we could say she's gone out of alignment. And so at this time of Guru Purnima, when we bask in the blessings of the Guru, and when inevitably in all of us there's some variation of the prayer of please bless me that I may be a bearer of goodness, of light, of healing, that I may be an asset to this world, that it may matter to someone that I drag myself out of bed in the morning, that someone, somewhere, something on this earth should be impacted by the fact that I didn't spend the entire day in bed. There should be some kind of a ripple impact on this earth that I got up in the morning. And the moon gives us the answer to that. Be in alignment. It's not about what we have to become or generate or manufacture. The light of the sun is always there. It's very kind, gives us half a day to actually get some sleep. But the sun is there, it's just shining on the other hemisphere of the earth. Sun hasn't gone to sleep, sun hasn't gone away. But we're not able to always access that light. And that's the role that the moon plays. And so in our lives, for me, I know I take this metaphor very, very seriously, that number one, be very clear, regardless of how much we're able to do, regardless of what bearers of goodness or light or healing we are able to be by God's grace. It's not about our light. It's not that we've manufactured such great light and goodness within that we're now nice enough to share it with others. We all know anyone who's ever been able to be a vehicle of any kind of healing, light, goodness, we all know. It only happens when you allow yourself to be a vessel. It's not coming from within. It's opening yourself to the flow of grace. And so when we see the full moon, it reminds us, oh God, the light of the Guru is always there. The light of the divine is always there. But when I'm not able to reflect that onto the world around me, when my life feels like a moonless night, rather than bemoaning, oh God, where have you gone? Where has grace gone? Where has the light gone? The question is, how can I get back in alignment? How have I gotten off my orbit such that I no longer am a full moon and I've become a new moon? And that's the teaching for all of us, is as we want to be light and share light, spread light, it's always available for us. We just have to remember, get back in alignment, get back in alignment, get back in alignment, back in alignment to the light of the Guru, back in alignment to the light of the divine, back in alignment to grace, back in alignment to love. When I'm in alignment to that, it automatically reflects off me. The moon isn't doing some kind of magic trick. She's just in this perfect alignment. So for me, that's the most powerful metaphor of this day. And when we speak about faith and blind faith, which always comes up, and the question always comes out in some way of, well, blind faith is bad, faith is good, so how to make sure that I can have faith without feeling like I have fallen, that I have fallen prey, that I have fallen prey to how to feel that I think just give it back to him. Don't worry, it's okay. Thanks. So, how do we benefit from faith without falling prey to blind faith? And here's the good news. This concept of blind faith is actually a concept I believe, and I don't know the history, couldn't go back through all of the sociological or semantic history of the words. My instinct is it's a Western concept that is afraid of this idea of full faith and full surrender, which is such a core aspect of the Eastern spiritual traditions. And it's that fear of losing my sense of independence, losing my sense of autonomy, as though somehow I am going to become blind in my faith and do things as though I were somehow a slave. And the good news is that as long as you are grounded and you are anchored in your heart and in your common sense and in your mind, blind faith is not like sort of an epidemic that you're going to get, bit by the wrong mosquito and somehow now you've got it. There's no guru I know who is really an enlightened master who says, oh yeah, be sure to leave your common sense at the door with your shoes. We bring into the relationship, we bring into the room our grounding, our anchoring, our intelligence, our common sense. What we leave at the door is our egos. We leave at the door our sense of, this is what I need, this is how I need it. Going back to the story I told the other day about the man with the cup of tea. What we leave at the door is that sense within us of, I know what I need. A guru is not a vending machine that you go up to and you offer your pranams and give your guru dakshina and offer a flower and push the button and, get out whatever you want. I want to get this raise, I want to get that promotion, I want my kid to get this score on his math exam, I want to marry this one. That's not the role of the guru. As I said, the word guru means the remover of darkness and bringer of light. It's not the remover of failing marks, the bringer of A's. The remover of hard work, the bringer of easy job promotions. It's not the guru's role. The guru is to bring us the light, to see the light within ourselves. But a lot of times when that light gets shown on us, inside of us, what we see isn't always so pleasant in the beginning. And this is where I was talking the other day about the ego. Is suddenly, we've been living all of these years of our lives sort of feeling like, oh yeah, I got everything together. And then that light comes and you realize, oh wow, look at the illusion I've been living in. Look at the games my ego's been playing with me. Look at the way that I've been in ignorance. And if you can sit with that, if you can have the courage to sit with that, what you on the other side of that, the other side of that sort of drama of the ignorance of this particular incarnation, this particular intersection of time and space and identity, body, the other side of that is the light of the divine within you. And that's the light that the Guru really gives us. But we have to be prepared to see all of that which comes up when that light is shown. When we speak about blind faith, going back for a moment to this specific question, there's a beautiful story of a man who goes to his guru and he says, I want to walk on water. So the guru says, okay, and the guru gives him this leaf that he's written a sacred mantra on, and he folds up the leaf and he says, okay, on this mantra is a sacred, on this leaf is a sacred mantra. Take this and hold this in your hands, and you will be able to walk on water. So the man walks out and he holds the leaf and he walks. And there he is, walking on water. Now, and the guru had said to him, but whatever you do, don't open the leaf. He gets about halfway out onto the lake, and suddenly curiosity just overcomes him. What is it? What is this mantra? My God, this is great. I should know what this is. And as he starts to open the leaf, he slowly starts to sink. And right before his head actually goes underwater, he sees what's written on the leaf, which is faith. And here's the point about surrender. Here's the point about that faith, is we live our lives already surrendered. The aspect is that usually we surrender to our egos. We surrender to our ignorance. We surrender to our vision of how things should be. None of us has the autonomy that we would ideally like to think we really have. When we talk about, oh, well, I don't want to, surrender to a guru because then I'm going to lose my autonomy. Well, no one's living an autonomous, really free life anyway, because we're all total slaves to our own minds, to the games of our own minds, to the nonsense of our own minds, the judgments, the jealousies, the competition, the ignorance, the identities, the stories, the dramas, the desires. And what the Guru gives us the opportunity to do is to surrender to light, to surrender to truth that actually is going to bring us not just onto a path, but actually show us who we are. So that's the first part, is do not think that before you surrender to a guru, you somehow are this free being. The Guru simply gives you the option of what is it you want to surrender to. Do we want to surrender to ego, to surrender to ignorance, surrender to drama, or do we surrender to light and truth? And in terms of that faith, there's a beautiful teaching that says, Shraddha Van Labhate Jnanam. What it means is, through faith, the real wisdom is obtained. Only through faith, the real wisdom is obtained. And so, faith is not blind at all. As I said, I am deeply convinced that that term has been given to us by a culture that is afraid of faith. that is afraid of surrender. Because faith is not blind. Faith is actually that which brings us jnana, wisdom. The only way to really have wisdom, not through the books, not through what you read or hear, but only when actually your heart is open in faith. Now, I'm going to preempt the question that always comes with this and just give the answer first, which is, well, how do we know? So how do we know? Okay, so we're going to have faith in the guru, but how do you know who's the right guru? Because obviously you don't want to have blind faith, this full surrendered faith, to someone who's not bringing you light, who's not bringing you freedom. And there's no cookie cutter answer to how to know who the right guru is. But I can give you a few tips. The first is, in the presence of the real guru, you feel light. You experience light. But you experience light not only in the presence of the guru, but you experience light in the presence of yourself. A real guru is not always just shining the light on themselves. It's not about, look at me, look at how light I am. It's look at your own light. Here is the light of you. And so that's a really important distinction. A guru is not the one who moves through the world shining the light just on himself or herself. A guru is the one bringing you the light, to see the light in you. Another good way to know is, the more someone tries to convince you that they are the only right guru, or the only guru for you, the faster I would run in the other direction. I remember when I first got to Rishikesh, before I had Pujya Swami Chidanand Darshan, we were staying in a hotel and had met this local sadhu who was living at another ashram. And he spoke some English and had somehow, I don't remember how, convinced us to come and sit with him every day. Okay, well, we didn't have any other work, and so we'd go and sit in his room, and he'd sit on his bed, and we'd sit on the floor, and he would speak to us about some kind of spiritual wisdom. I don't remember what he said. And after a couple of days, he taught us that, when you go to the guru, you're supposed to bring sweets. And so we thought, okay, well, that's fun. And so it became this kind of adventure every day. And we'd go to the sweet store in the market, and we'd get a box of sweets, and then we'd go and we'd show up with our box of sweets and give him the box of sweets. And this went on for several days. And those of you who know the story know I was waiting in Rishikesh for quite some time to finally be able to meet Pujya Swamiji. And when I finally had his darshan and he said, welcome home, that I was welcome to come and stay at Paramarth. That evening when I was in the market, we bumped into this other sadhu, and I said, guess what, great news, I met Pujya Swamiji and he's granted me permission to move into the ashram. And this one started screaming at us. Literally, you can't do that, you're my disciples, you can't go anywhere, you're my disciples. So, if you find yourself in a situation like that, run as fast as you can in the other direction. The real gurus are here for us, not for them. They're here to bring us light. They're doing what they do for us. So it's not about the glory, it's not about the collection of disciples or devotees or crowds or money or whatever it may be. The Guru is the one who is there for us. And when you have found the Guru, this is where we leave our egos at the door with our shoes. Because the ego is the greatest impediment to the relationship of the Guru and the disciple. The ego is that impediment to the gyan, to the wisdom. And so as we have the full moon of the day, we remember, Purnima, Purnima, how can I get back in alignment? How can I be full again? How have I become this moonless night? Where has the light gone in me? And we focus on getting ourselves back in proper alignment, back in proper orbit. So, I have a lot to say about this, but I'm gonna bring it to a close there so that I have some time to take a couple of questions before we move on to Pujya Swamiji's divine blessings and our mantras.
Thank you, Sadhvi. So, it's not working? Okay. So I just said thank you, Sadhvi. Okay, my lips are going to be yeah. All right, so the first question actually, I think, moves off the theme of what you just were talking about, but more inside your own mind. So how can we distinguish between the voice of our higher self and the random thoughts passing through the mind?
So, this is a very common dilemma. We say, go within, listen to the voice of your higher self. But when most of us go within, what we hear is just this random nonsense. And if we're even more unlucky, instead of just random nonsense, we actually end up with prevalent and pervasive negative thoughts and feelings that don't feel very random and don't feel like nonsense, but actually keep hurting us, but nonetheless are just as much nonsense in the actual big spiritual scheme of things. So how do we distinguish between the voice in our head that says, you are stupid, you are worthless, or this guy's stupid, that guy's worthless, this is the problem, and the voice within you that's actually a divine voice? Practice. This is where the practice of meditation is so important, because the more you practice, the more familiar you become with the voice. The more familiar you become with knowing, that's my inner divine voice. Most of us turn within only in times of crisis. I need to know what to do. Oh my God, I'm in this difficult situation. And at that time, it feels nearly impossible to distinguish between the dozens of different voices in your head. And this is where having a practice is such a great asset, because you're already familiar with that voice. You know, the example I always give is if you've got a nursery full of babies, you've got 50 babies on the inside, and the parents are standing outside at the door. One of the babies cries. Well, to a random person, it could be any baby, they all sound the same. But to the mother of that baby, she knows, oh, my baby's crying. She's so connected to that voice of her child, even though it sounds to a random onlooker exactly like every other crying baby. But she knows that's my baby because she's so connected. So in the same way, we have to do our practice to connect with our own inner selves. And sometimes it comes as an actual verbal voice. Sometimes it comes as an image. When we say the inner voice, it's not always something that we actually hear with our ears. Sometimes it's just a sense of knowing. Sometimes it's an image. Sometimes it's a voice. But we have to connect with it to know it. And the other aspect that's so important is we have to remove the other nonsense. Because as long as that nonsense is going on, it's going to prevent us from being able to hear that sound of the inner voice. So here's my favorite exercise on this. So Sean, raise your hand. Great. Those of you on this side of Sean, you are group 1. Okay, raise your hand if you're group 1. Great. Those of you on this side of Sean, you are group 2. Raise your hand if you're group 2. Great. Okay. So group 1, your job is to chant Om. Okay? So on the count of 3, let's try it. 1, 2, 3. Great. Group 2, your job is to make as much noise, as much ruckus. I mean, literally, yes, I know we're sitting in satsang. Nonetheless, make as much noise as you possibly can. Okay? 1, 2, 3, go. That was pretty poor. Great. Okay. So everybody knows what their job is. On the count of 3, the 2 groups are going to go together. But what you have to pay attention to is if I raise my hand on your side, it means you all become quiet. If I raise my hand over here, you become quiet. If I raise my hand over here, you become quiet. All right. On the count of 3, everybody goes together. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you guys over here, did you start chanting Om only when they became quiet, or had you been going the whole time? Could anybody hear them until you became quiet? So, what I love about this experiment is it makes the problem and the solution very obvious. Most of us are looking for this. This is what we would like our minds to be like. We would like to have that peace, that calmness, that Om within. This is what most of our minds sound like. And you guys were actually pretty calm. This is always here. Always. This is our nature. This is the core of who you are. When we say that the divine is within us, that we are divine, this is at our core. The problem is this. And this is where our spiritual practice, in some cases spiritual practice combined with a psychological practice, depending on what's going on with those voices, needs to come into play to get this to become quiet. Because there's no point trying to bring in a louder Om on top of that. That's what most of us do when we embark on a spiritual practice. Is it's like, okay, well, this is what my mind currently is like. I'm just going to start chanting Om. And that's great. We should. But all it's doing is trying to bring in another sound on top of this. And this is where we find it so hard. And people say, well, I sit to meditate and I can't because my mind is all over the place. Well, of course it is. You can't just suppress this down. You have to actually get it to become quiet. And the only way to get it to become quiet is through our spiritual practices. This is where, for example, the practice of jump is so incredibly powerful. This is where it's so important to look at also if you find that the voices in your head are always saying the same things over and over again. Are the voices always focused on this isn't fair, that's not fair, this is wrong, that's wrong? Look at it. Where did that come from? Why do I have that? How can I let that go? And slowly, 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 these voices become quiet. And it's important for us to realize, I was speaking yesterday about choosing love, choosing peace. We stand pretty much right here where Sean is, in between these voices, with a choice. We have this, we have the Om. It is in us. But we are deeply attracted by this noise over here. This seems fun, this seems dramatic, this seems exciting. And so our attachment to this noise is actually what's keeping us from living over here. So as we find ourselves there, we have to say literally, wait, I'm going to choose not to go with this. When a thought comes in your mind, you have a choice. You have a choice of whether to jump on it or not jump on it. If a friend says to you, hey, guess what? I got this great new car. Come with me. I'm going to take you on a trip. What would you ask him or her?
Where are we going? Where are we going?
Where are we going? Exactly. Where are we going? Where to? Somebody says, oh, I have a present for you. A first-class ticket. Beautiful new airplane. First-class ticket. You'd say the same thing. Where to? And if they say, to misery, to hell. Anybody here ready to take a first-class ticket to hell? Free food, free drinks, free movies. Anybody along the way? But at the end, you end up in hell. Would anybody take that ticket? Would anybody get in that car? Plush seats, 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. And at the end of the day, you end up in hell. None of us would, because we know I don't care how exciting the journey is, or how comfortable the journey is, or how luxurious the journey is. At the end of the day, I don't want to end up in hell. But this is every time a thought comes in our minds and we jump on it. Our thoughts are these vehicles. They're tickets to bus rides, plane rides, train rides. And every one of them is going to a different destination. So every time a thought enters your mind that says, oh, this isn't fair, or that's not fair, or I hate this, or that's bad, or I'm worthless, or whatever the negativity of your mind pattern may be, and you jump on it, you've just signed yourself up for a one-way ticket to hell. You know where that thought's going because you've ridden it before. This isn't the first time you've ever had a thought of judgment, or thought of jealousy, or thought of not enoughness, or thought of pain. We've done this. We've done this for most of our lives. Question is, when you know where the train is going, why do you get on thought coming, Pujya Swamiji always emphasizes grabbing the space between a thought and an action. But sometimes it's also that space just between a thought and a thought. That space that he talks about is precious. We have that initial thought, it begins, and there is space. We don't have to jump on it. We don't have to go with it, either in our mind or into action. That choice is ours. So as these thoughts come, you start to learn to see them. Ah, there's anger. Yeah, that person did something that really annoyed me. Here's anger coming, okay. And you see it. You say, but I'm not going anywhere with you. I've jumped on the back of your motorcycle way too many times in my life. Not going today. I know where this journey ends. And that is the power we all have. And the more you can do that with those voices, the more we will actually find our ability to live in the Om, because these voices will become quiet. The more they know she's not going to listen, she's not going to come along, the less they do their thing. It's a reward-based system. The more I go with it, the more it comes. And again, this is where the practice of japa is so powerful. Because as the thoughts also come, if you can just chant your mantra. I know for me the mantra feels sometimes like a life raft. That literally you feel like you're drowning in the ocean and it's just something to grab onto and it keeps you afloat until you're back on safe ground.
This next question asks you to expand upon that a little bit, I think, because it asks, how do you do anustan? And if I understand correctly, that is somehow associated with japa. So if for those of us who don't know what that is, if you could explain it. So how does that help? And then how do you do it?
Great. So I was going to have this be the last question anyway, and it's a perfect question to end on, because I'll share a bit about it, and then as Pujya Swamiji has spent years of his life in Anushthan, I'll ask him to also speak about it from his personal experience. Anushthan is a general term for a very intense spiritual practice that is based in japa, the recitation of the mantra or a name of God, usually with a mala. Different anushthanas have different lengths, different numbers of jap you're going to do over a certain number of days, whether it's certain days, whether it's a certain number of rounds of japa. There's all sorts of different aspects that go into it, but what's most important about it, what makes it so special, is it's a committed spiritual practice. And so rather than it being just my 10 minutes a day or even 1 hour a day, it's a commitment for a period of time. And so whether it's 7 days or 9 days or 11 days or 40 days or 90 days or however long it may be, or years in Pujya Swamiji's case, it's a commitment to that practice above all else. So many times, sadly, in these sorts of satsangs and question-answer sessions, a question will come up that's some variation of, what's the bare minimum I have to do every day? We get these a lot. So what's every day, like the bare minimum? 3 minutes, 5 minutes? How much minimum, how much do I have to do? And we always laugh because two things. Number one, what we all want in our lives is happiness and peace and love. Core, bottom line, what everything we do in our life is actually to bring us peace, joy, love. And yet, the practice that actually gives us the greatest possibility of living our lives in deep joy, deep peace, and deep love is the one that we are ready to sort of relegate to the remaining 3 minutes I have at the end of the day after I've brushed my teeth before I'm completely out, like lights out on my pillow. I've got 3 minutes, I'll sit to meditate. Or first thing in the morning, right before I rush off, check my mails, and I've got, all right, 3 minutes till I have to get in the shower, okay, I'll meditate. And it's a tragedy because this is actually that which gives us what we're looking for. We'll go to the gym, we understand I have to take care of my physical body, we'll go with our friends, I want to take care of my social life, we do our jobs, have to make money. But this tool that we have to actually have all of what we most deeply want, we relegate to the when I have time, if there's time, after everything else is done. The final thing on my to-do list is 3 minutes of meditation. So that's one aspect of why it's such a tragedy. The other aspect is that what so many people are looking for is just the ability to sort of give themselves this stamp of approval of spiritual being. And so it's, I want to feel that I am spiritual. I want to feel that I've done a spiritual practice, but I don't have more than 10 minutes a day to give to the practice. So give me something that I can do in the allocated 10 minutes I have. Anushthan is the opposite. Anushthan is saying, I want to dive into this. I want to dive into the ocean of the self. So rather than being bare minimum, it's what's the most I can do? How much can I commit myself to doing every day for a period of however many days it is? And so it's a very, very powerful experience of simply the sankalp. The doing of it is also very powerful, but simply making that vow of, for this period of time, actually, my meditation, my japa, my spiritual practice is going to be more important to me than everything else. It's going to be my first priority rather than my last priority. So it's a very special way of doing a spiritual practice. And with that, I'll ask Pujya Swami to share with us his experiences in Anushthan, and also however he feels ready to bless us today.
Mangalam Bhagavan Vishnu Mangalam Garudadvaja Mangalam Punda मङ्गलाय तनो हरिः सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते नारायणी नमोस्तुते नारायणी नमोस्तुते ब्रह्मा मुरारिस् त्रिपुरान्तकारी भानु शशिभूमिसुतो बुधश्च गुरुश्च शुक्रः शनिराहुकेतवः सर्वे ग्रहाः शान्तिकरा भवन्तु सर्वे ग्रहाः शान्तिकरा भवन्तु सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय शान्ति 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 Let's start with first the question of Anushఠān. To me, the whole life is Anushఠān. Anushఠān means sitting on one place with one mantra, with one mala, on one asana, a certain period of time. That can be for 1 month, for 1 year, for 12 years. People do Anushఠān for 12 years also. It can be for 1 week. When we do Gayatri Purusharan, some Gayatri Purusharan, Gayatri Purusharan means the Anushఠān with the Gayatri mantra. Purusharan means which takes you forward. The sadhana, Purusharan, take your life onward, forward. When I did the Anushఠān, first Anushఠān was for one complete whole 1 year. In that Anushఠān, in one place, in one room, not even coming out of that room, complete silence, and it was 11 hours a day, standing on 1 feet like this. When you are tired, you can change your feet after a certain period of time. And the first question was given to me, Gayatri Mantra. There was rules and regulations, what to eat, what not to eat. I was given only lentils, moong ki dal, boil in the water, no spices for India especially. At the age of 8 is not a joke. It was very difficult being in a family, having a good breakfast in the morning and having a tasty breakfast in the Indian families. For them it becomes a little difficult. And that's what the training, that how you can overcome of your taste. How you can overcome of control of your senses. It starts from the senses and takes your whole life. That's why they started with the senses, that watch where your senses are going on. Silence. It was not just you don't speak. Absence of talk is not silence. Silence is full. Silence is complete. Silence is whole, to make you complete and whole, to make you full. It's not you're not talking and that's silence. Silence is so much full that you are so much aware, so much conscious of every thought, every vritti like wave in the ocean. And then you go deep down in the ocean. So complete silence, 11 hours a day for the japa, for the mantra, for meditation. 1 time a day you have to eat, very less, to learn from the day 1 how you can live with less. 2 chapatis, small, little dal, nothing else, no snacks, nothing in between. And in the evening, before you sleep, I was given a command that 1 glass of milk. And that milk also and the food also will be prepared by mother. And the condition was, you will not see her, she will not see you. She comes out in the veranda, she keeps the food when food is ready, and your sadhana is done, you go out, bring that tiffin, bring in, have the prasadam, clean the vessels, and keep the tiffin ready. And it's not that she has to clean it, you have to clean it. And then she will take it. Training from the beginning. It's a training, not just for a few days, for a few things. It's training of your mind. There were many other rules, regulations. The whole list was given. And Anushthan started. When Anushthan started, parents especially in this young age, for them, it's very difficult. But I was blessed that I had the family who were every minute and every moment a blessing to me. They accepted in such a beautiful way. Maybe inside of their heart, moms are moms. And mothers are always amazing mothers. She must be thinking, poor child, not eating anything. An idea came to her that one whole year he will not eat anything. Just boiled dal, the dry chapatis, how he will survive. She was very concerned, I think. So idea came to her. The Swami said, 1 glass of milk every day. Now, the motherhood started working in her. And she said, Swami didn't say before he left how big the glass should be. So she had this big glass of milk. Then again another idea came. But he didn't say how the milk should be prepared. She said, okay, let me do something for him. At least he has some protein, some nourishment. He should stay healthy when he is doing this Anushthan. And she started preparing. Maybe she must be keeping in the morning. And since from the morning to evening, she must be keeping, I don't know what she must be doing. And she made the milk, that 1 glass of milk, maybe from 1 bucket, who knows. And the milk was so thick, and I was also hungry. Because in the young age, no matter what, in the beginning days, when you don't understand the power of Anushthan, you don't understand the power of the senses, the power of silence, power of control. Those chapatis, not having makhan, butter, not having anything, no stuffed parathas, nothing was there. It was not that I was missing, but definitely when the milk came first day, I loved it. That was for sure. I loved it. The whole day, just 2 chapatis and that dal. I loved it. Next day, again, mother did the same thing. 2 months were gone. Same thing. Anushthan is on, milk is on, mother is on, mother Mamta is on, everything is on. Now, why I am trying to say, one is the Anushthan, second is the Guru. to think the Guru is only a physical body. Guru is in essence being with you all the time. That's what my master wanted to teach me. After 2 months, after my sadhana was over, I did the yagna, I was sitting, and it was evening time. The milk just arrived and I was about to have that milk. Someone knocks the door. No one was allowed to come in to disturb. Someone knocks the door. Again, the knock was there. The third time when knock happened, I said I should open. I don't know what is outside. But it came to my heart, open it. And I opened the door. I saw the master. The Swamiji was there. When Swamiji was there, the first thing, I looked at him, he looked at me. I was in silence. Did pranams, salutations to him. And he asked, how are you? I said, super. But I could not speak, but I said, super, wonderful. There was no complaint, no grumbling. I was enjoying it. Milk every day. I never had before that. With that milk, meditation also. Both. First time, now he gave this look to me. I know what you are doing. That's why I'm here. He called my mom because the rooms were just next to that room, but there was a veranda in between that nobody could come to my room. And mom came. It's Indian culture. First thing she asked, what I can bring for you? Please have dinner. She said, no dinner. Because I was just going to take the milk was just in front of me. He said, maybe milk. He didn't say anything. The mother went to the kitchen, brought the milk. Now the same big glass she brought for him also. Now the milk is there, milk is covered with the plate. And she requested to Swamiji, please accept this offering. He said, today I will drink his milk and he will drink my milk. But my mother said, but this is very fresh, this just came. And that milk is from the morning. In India, fresh means, we don't have a concept here because everything is pasteurized, keep it in the fridge. And nothing is like fresh. It's all days after days. It comes from the dairy and goes to the shopping center. Then whenever you buy, it comes to you. Yes, there is a date, expiry date. Before that, it's fresh. But in India, the morning milk is a fresh milk and evening milk is a fresh milk. There's an expiry date right there. This is morning, this is evening. The evening milk also just came from the gaushala, from the cows, because we had the cows. So he said, yeah. He is doing sadhana. He needs the fresh milk. I will take the morning milk. Milk is milk. There's no difference. But there is a concept in India. This is fresh. This is new. You should have this one. They just came. But the problem was not the fresh or morning or evening. The mother was scared that if I give him this milk, this glass of milk, he will understand. And she didn't have that much time to just make rabdi and make it that thick. But Swamiji said, yeah, it's okay, it's a fresh, but I will take that milk. He needs fresh milk because he is doing sadhana. Before she said something, which she was now very uncomfortable, very nervous. what Swamiji will say now. And Swamiji took the milk in the small cup and he knew it anyway. He said, sadhu banna hai ke swadu banna hai? You want to be sadhu or you want to be a sadhu who is looking for taste? I was quiet, calm, humble. He said, your mother thinks this milk will give you nourishment. This milk will give you strength. This milk will make you strong and keep you strong. It's not the milk, my dear. It's the meditation I told you, mantra I gave you. That mantra will keep you strong and keep you together. And he was very strong. He was not like me. I'm very, very simple in that way. I'm not very hard with my disciples. He said, from today, no more milk. Entire of your life. You think I came here for milk? Your mother thinks I came here for milk. I just came to tell you that I'm sitting there, I am watching you. I am with you. Guru is not a physical body only. Guru is there all the time with you, watching you. You're always in his prayers. And he took the milk aside, kept the milk aside, and he left. No more milk. The mother comes. Mother comes. Inside she must be very troubled. What happened? Only milk. Now the milk is also gone. Oh my baby, what he will take now every day. But she was very strong. She comes in, she said, yeah, I am wrong, he is right. Maharaj is right, Maharaj is Bhagavan, Maharaj is God. He knows what is going on here. That's why he came all the way. You are very lucky, you are very special. See, sitting there in Maharaj knows what you are doing and what you are supposed to do. Maybe outside when she left, must be crying, but inside of me to make me strong, she gave me these words and she was gone. So my Anushthan was full of experiences, full of so many commitments. But there are different Anushtans. One are Sakam, another are Nishkam. Sakam Anushthan means you do Anushthan for 7 days. Or some do, say, 9 days, Ramayana Path, Akhanda Ramayana Path. Some do for 24 hours, this Akhanda Paths. And then they have something attached to that. God, if I do this 24 hours Anushthan, or if I do this 9-day Anushthan, end of the Anushthan, can you please fulfill my wish? There are Sakam, this comes Sakam Anushtans. Anushthan with desires. That this desire is fulfilled, I will do my Anushthan. But the Anushtans for the life, they are Nishkam. Just how I can surrender my life. How I can dedicate my life. It's not any shortcut we are looking for. You go deeper and deeper and deeper into the sadhana. And more deeper you go, more intense sadhana is. And then end of that sadhana, you don't have to ask for anything. No matter what kind of sadhana is, you will feel blessed. The peacefulness will be there. The enlightenment will be there. When we are talking about the faith, faith is not blind Faith is light. Faith is light. The moment you have a faith, it means you have light within you. Light all the time with you. That faith all the time shows you the way, how to do, where to go, what to do. Every time is guiding you. That light is there with you. So this faith is a complete surrender. There are so many beautiful stories in the scriptures. And in that faith there is no doubt whether I should do it, not do it, how much I should do it. It will be successful or not successful. Faith has not these kind of questions. Faith is a faith. And the anushtans were given in many different ways by the gurus. There is a Upanishad story. Java, there was a very young kid who goes to the rishi and asks for knowledge. Bless me with the knowledge. Initiation. I want liberation. I want salvation. I want nirvana. Seen everything. He said, seen everything? Done everything? You are very young. He said, yeah, it looks to me I have seen in many past lives. It's never enough. Never done. I have to draw the line somewhere. Master understood. He has that spark. And he said, okay, for you, there is one sadhana, one anushtan. Take these 4 cows. Now you see what kind of anushtan he is being given. Take these 4 cows, and until they become 400, keep doing this anushtan. Now this 4 cows will take so much time to become 400. The progeny is there, but they have to. It's not that he will chant the mantra that they become 400 in few days. They take their time. And no question to the master, took the order, command as a blessing and goes to the jungle. Here other students were in the Gurukul, being with the master, learning Upanishads, learning all of the scriptures. Every day they were becoming more and more intelligent, the learned ones. And this guy is not doing any other sadhana, not learning any scripture, not reading any Upanishads, just master's order. Master's command. Take these 4 and they become 400. Then you come, this is your anushtan. This is your sadhana. It happened that 4 became 400. In the process of being 400, he was so happy all the time. No complaint, no grumbling, no complaining. Just master said, when they become 400, you come to me. I will have the darshan of my Sadguru. For me, this is my liberation. He said it. This is going to happen. That faith. And comes back. Goes to the Guru. Guru could see the tej, the light. That was not only spark now. That spark became light on his face and blessed him. Anushtan was completed the moment Master blessed him. And the story says that he became the most favorite one, the best one, and all of them who were doing all their bookish knowledge. They were only learned by the books, by those words. But they were learning the mantras, but Jabali became the mantra. His life became Anushtan, his life became the mantra. When you surrender with that faith, the Guru's blessings, even his unasked, never asked, never questioned, is there all the time. That faith is needed. He never said, these people have not done anything. All these cows, I did it. I worked so hard that these 400 cows are now giving milk to all of these who were staying, doing nothing here. I was only raising them. I was doing everything. And they were sitting here doing nothing. This is my labor. This is my work. This is my intelligence. If I was not there, this 400 could not have happened. The moment you go to that direction, your all Anushtan is in vain. Your all sadhana is in vain. It means it's not meditation. It is something different, something else you are doing it. Meditation means you're gone, you're over, you're lost into that. In that word that I have to do this, that also doesn't come to you. That I did it, I have to do it. It means it's all happening. Guru has chosen me. So happy to see all those 400 cows that's in the ashram. When any cow, the calf of those cows makes a noise, "Ma!" immediately, he was so happy that every child is now, every Gurukul child is playing with them. Every Gurukul child is enjoying them. How you can enjoy? This is me who did it. All these questions comes when we are not living meditation. We are just doing meditation. Meditation is not what you do. Meditation is what you are. Anyway, meditation is not a verb. It's a noun. You have to happen that. Anushtan is to make you happen, not Anushtan what you do. Doesn't matter what kind of Anushtan, 7 days, 9 days, 40 days, 1 year or whole life. Whole life also people can stay empty. They cannot feel full. Main thing is the faith in the words of the Master, done. And you completely surrender, and that Guru Purnima is a celebration of that surrendering. Guru Purnima is a celebration of contemplation. This is the day of contemplation. Where do I stand? Where I can draw the line now? Gone is gone, over is over, done is done. Can I start a new life from today? Can I have that surrendering? If that can happen, your Guru Purnima is full, like that full moon. Because it's not that light you have, or through that light you brought this much, or did this much. This is coming through somewhere. You are a rock. Where this light is coming from, give this debt all credit also to that light. Oh light, thank you, because of I could see in a right way. Be in the right direction. ना कुछ हंस के सीखा है, ना कुछ रो के सीखा है, जो कुछ थोड़ा सा सीखा है, किसी के हो के सीखा है. Whatever is in our life, when you surrender in a complete way, that fullness happens in you. Because that surrender is full, is complete, is whole. And when you have in that surrender many holes, you can never become whole. Those holes will keep haunting on you. So let us not have those holes. Today is the day when you offer those holes to the whole, to the complete, to the full one. With this prayer, with this sharing, so many stories are coming to me that talk about me. All those characters who have given their life, they are coming to my heart. But today is the day also which is called Vyas Purnima, the Vyas. The Vyas Bhagavan, the Rishi Vyas, after doing all of that, bringing out all these volumes, 18 Puranas, whole Srimad Bhagavat. The Gita is also in that Mahabharata, the whole Mahabharata, and many other scriptures. The commentary on them. There is a treasure chest of thousands and thousands of books in our Sanatana Dharma. All of that. Who gave to this world with the one notion that we are one family. They belong to all. It's not they belong to only one creed and one color. This is all Amritasya Putra. We all are the son of the nectar. We are all son and daughters of the nectar. Amritasya Putra. We are all nectar. We are all divine. With that feeling, they have given all that knowledge that it can be shared with all. And today is the birthday, Guru Purnima is the birthday of also Vyas Bhagavan. So what kind of gift we can give to Vyas, who has brought this to this world, and what we can give to our Guru? Some dakshina, some cover. The greatest gift is giving to yourself, for yourself, and for the bigger self, where all the walls of separation fall. All those thoughts which block my way to proceed further fall. Nothing else is needed today. Only one thing, that I completely surrender to myself. That oh Lord, bless us. Oh Lord, bless me. That I can see the right path. My visions becomes clouded. I lose my clarity. And in those moments, Arjuna did the same thing. When he says, I don't know what is happening to me. I don't want to fight this war. I don't want to take this duty. My whole body is crumbling. I'm shivering. I'm not in me. Only one thing, God. You tell me what to do, which path to take. Bruhi me sya nishchitam bruhi me. You tell me, whatever is right, I will do. And before that, he says, Shadhimam tuam prapannam, I surrender to thee. I am yours. You are mine. Please take me in your shelter and bless me. The moment this happened, this is our Guru Purnima. With that feeling, with that bhav, let us complete to the Supreme Master, the Supreme Divine, our lives, whatever it happened through our lives, our mind, our senses, our intellect, all of our karmas, the fruit of all the karmas, to the Divine Master, and just be there to receive that divine blessing. God bless you. This should become our Anushthan. In this Guru Purnima, when I was in Rishikesh before I left, all this team came up and we decided that 200,000 trees. This is our Anushthan. You know how many Anushthan we can do, what kind of Anushthan. This is all Anushtans. The 200 fruit-giving trees, shady trees, water-preserving trees, all herbal trees, herb trees, we are going to plant. They all took the a sankalpa on this Guru Purnima in Rishikesh. And every day now I am receiving the emails, the WhatsApps, full of those sankalpas. We'll do 5,000, we'll do 10,000, we'll do 20,000, and they will all do their Anushthan of 10,000 trees. 5,000 trees Anushthan, 200 trees Anushthan. And everybody, every school, 100 schools are coming forward, few universities are coming forward. This is their Anushthan, where birds will become happy, the animals will become happy, they will have shade, birds will nest there, and people have fruits, the poor people have fruits, we will have oxygen, nature will be happy, and there will be a win-win-win Anushthan. This is our Anushthan. We should take a pledge that what I am going to do this year, that will be my Anushthan. With my sadhana every day in the morning, sadhana before I leave, with that Anushthan. But I have to do that kind of Anushthan which can bring more greenery in this world, which can make the nature more bountiful, which can make nature more green. Because if nature is green, we all can have a green future. Otherwise, we'll be having the grey future for our coming generations. So let us be together to protect our Mother Earth, to preserve the water, to save the water. And this is very important. We think we are sitting on the banks of lake, water, why is talking about water? But we are not alone. We have such a huge family, vast family all over the world. Go to those places where people have rationing of the water. Just now one girl came to me, she said, in 5 days in Chhattisgarh, we have a water for half an hour. Half an hour. Some other areas, people come walk 5 kilometers all the way from the mountain, just from one bucket. We are lucky, we have so much water. But it's not all water belongs to us. This belongs to the whole universe, to the birds, to the animals, to everyone. Together, if you are here, have a plentiful of water, but think of those people and work for them also. That should be your Anushthan. That should be your green Guru Purnima. That should be your green Anushthan. And that's what is needed. Everyone must have some sankalpa. That should be the dakshina today. That I take a pledge that how much I can take. Small baby steps everyone has to take. And then you can see not only change in you, the way this was a green Anushthan, raising those cows from 4 to 400. This is a green Anushthan, was given those times. And other was given, take 10 saplings and let them become 1,000 saplings. This is your Anushthan. These green Anushthan were given in those days by those rishis. They were green scientists, nature scientists. So we must take some kind of pledge today. When you have a arti tonight, in that arti, when you're sitting on the front of the water, take a pledge in you, in your mind. You don't have to tell me. If you can write to me, great. Pledge with your selfie. Write that pledge, have a selfie with the pledge, and send to God. And that selfie with self. That selfie you have to take today. Selfie with self. That should be our Guru Purnima. That can I dedicate self to that higher self and send that selfie. Believe me, He will love it because He loves you and I love you. God bless you. before we, because it's also Anushtan, before we go to another step, we all have to chant our mantras today. Okay? And but I will not go one word by one word, but we'll take the whole stanza and open your Vedic Mantras book. And when you go back, this Anushtan should stay on with your family, whether it's morning or evening, whatever the time is, maybe in Sundays, during holidays, you all can have a time dedicated to this. But in the evenings, maybe when everybody is home, just sit for 5 minutes. This will take only 5 to 7 minutes. And sit together and chant these mantras. Karakre vasate Lakshmi. Karmadhye Saraswati. Karamule tu Govinda. Prabhate Kardarshanam. Samudravasane Devi. Parvatastana Mandale. Vishnupatni Namastubhyam. Padasparsham Kshamaswame. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu. Gurur Devo Maheshwara. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Akhanda Mandalakaram. Vyaptam Yena Characharam. Tatpadam Darshitam Yena. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Asato Ma. Sadgamaya. Tamaso Ma. Jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma. Amritam Gamaya. Om Sahana Bhavatu. Sahanau Bhunaktu. Sahaviryam Karavavahai. Tejasvinavadhitamastu. Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramaya. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः मङ्गलं भगवान् विष्णुः मङ्गलं गरुडध्वजः मङ्गलं पुण्डरीकाक्षो मङ्गलायतनो हरिः कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि नारायणायेति समर्पयामि नारायणायेति समर्पयामि ॐ स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तारक्षो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्यं माङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोऽस्तुते कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् ॐ द्यौः शान्तिरन्तरिक्षकुं शान्तिः पृथ्वी शान्तिः आपः शान्तिः औषधयः शान्तिः वनस्पतयः शान्तिः विश्वे देवाः शान्तिः ब्रह्म शान्तिः सर्वं शान्तिः शान्तिरेव शान्तिः सामा शान्तिरेधि ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षिभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्ट्वागुंसस्तनूभिः यशेमहि देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तारक्षो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुचरण कमलेभ्यो नमः श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः परम गुरुभ्यो नमः आचार्येभ्यो नमः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
So we have a very special puja now. And after the puja, we're not going to make any announcements. So if there are any logistic announcements that need to be made, I'll ask that they make them now. Because the experience of the puja, and I'll speak for a moment about it in just a second, is one that really takes us within. And so as you leave from here after the puja, stay in that space, hold on to this. It's not a going through the motions. You know, we were speaking the other day about puja and rituals and how God doesn't need our milk and our rice and our ghee, that it's for us. In the same way, our Guru doesn't need our flowers. What we're offering is our hearts. What we're offering is our love. What we're offering is our devotion. And what we're offering is all of that within us that keeps us from being able to see the light that the Guru is shining in our life. I remember when I first met Pujya Swamiji, and I've now seen him do it on many occasions, and I've had many other people tell me, oh, he did that to me too. And whether he's done it in exactly this way to you or not, it doesn't matter. That offering is there for all. Some of us get it in a more dramatic way, but he went like this. Yes. He had his chadar and he held his chadar out. Like this. And he said, give me all your pain. He said, just give it to me. He said, I'll give it to Ganga. Just give it to me. And so, when we offer the flowers, it's a multi-meaning offering. One is, flower is life, flower is beauty, flower is fragrance. What else can we offer the Guru? So we offer the symbol of fragrance, the symbol of life, the symbol of beauty. You want to give, of course, the best to the Guru, so we give these flowers. But really on a deeper level, what we're giving is the flower of our hearts, because the flowers we offer today, as they've been cut from the vine, they won't last very long. But the flower inside us is connected. And the more and more connected it can be, the fuller and more fragrant the flower of us can be. This flower that's been cut from the vine reminds us. My inner flower needs to stay connected. Connected to the divine, connected to the Guru, connected to God, connected to my higher self, connected to truth, to love, to devotion. And that's what's going to make the flower in me blossom more and be more and more fragrant. So the flowers that we offer are that symbol of the flower within us that'll never dry up, never wither, unless we get disconnected within ourselves. So along with the flower, we're offering the flower within us and the commitment. And if it's not something that comes easy for you, offer it as a prayer. Ask for help. Let me stay connected. Please. Please God, please Guruji. Please whatever word works for you, it doesn't matter. Please bless me that the flower of my heart should never be disconnected, that it should always be blossoming and opening and more fragrant, more and more beautiful, more and more open to the light, the way that the petals of a flower open to the morning sun. The sun is bright and shining, but if the flower petals are closed, it's not going to benefit. So let me stay connected so that the petals of my heart may always keep opening. And then the last aspect of the symbol of the offering is, take that within me, which is keeping me from being a vessel, a vehicle of your light, a reflection of your light onto the world. Yes, I know you are shining, but I sometimes feel like a moonless night. Help me get back in orbit. Help me get back in alignment so that I can feel that fullness. and so that I can be a reflection of that for others. So, before we do the puja, I'll just ask, do we have any logistic comment, things that have to be made? Okay. Great, so right after this we're having
I have enough.
fantastic, and a loud voice. Great.
It's getting louder. We're doing a sound healing, sound experience at 3 o'clock. So I invite all of you to be here with your yoga mats. We're going to get rid of all the chairs, so that's the only one I want to.
So, as Reika-ji announced, we will have a group picture right after this, before lunch, so join us outside for the group picture right after this. And at 3, as Sathya said, she's leading a beautiful sound experience. And I want to just expand on that for a moment, because the Hindu scriptures, the Vedic religious, spiritual tradition, the Dharma, is the only religion of the world that I know of that actually has an entire scripture dedicated to sound. We've got a Veda called the Sam Veda, a scripture of sound. Sound is not just that which is either entertaining, oh this is great, what a rock concert, let's dance, or oh that which is really relaxing and nice, I can go to sleep to it or feel very relaxed to it. It's not just that. Sound is energy. Sound is power. In the world of physical science, we know light comes to us as a wave. We can't see the wave, but we see the manifestation of the wave. That's how we have light. Sound comes to us as a wave. And that wave is an energy. You whistle at a high enough pitch, you can break a glass across the room without even touching it. Simply with the frequency of the sound. If you've never seen that, it's a phenomenal thing to watch. You blow a whistle, it's at the right frequency, and a glass will shatter across the room. And I mention this because that power of sound, when it's used as a science, as Sathya has been studying and developing and delving into, it really has power. And so, at the absolute bare minimum, it will be very enjoyable and relaxing. But if you can attune yourself at a frequency level to that which they will be doing, you'll actually have an even deeper and richer experience. So we encourage everyone to come for the sound experience at 3 o'clock. So with that, the puja that we're going to have, the way that we're going to do this is, you know that we bow at the feet of the holy ones, the gurus. We bow at the feet of our parents. We bow at the feet of those from whom we're seeking blessings, our elders, the respected ones. Why? Well, it's believed that the feet are a source of power and energy, that there's a way that the energy, that divine energy of the being is crystallized, you can say, or deep and intense in the feet. It's also a teaching of surrender, a teaching of humility as we bow down. So it reminds us, let me get out of the way so that your grace can flow. When I'm here, the me is sort of a barrier between me and your blessings. But if I can bow down and get out of the way, there's lots of room for grace to flow. And so we bow to the feet, and we have actually very very beautiful, what's known as padukas, which are the very special sort of impression of shoes worn by the holy ones, the gurus. And so that will serve as the physical location of the puja. Rekhaji and Pushpavan and everybody will put it here and get it ready. And as you come up, feel free to offer flowers, the flowers of the vine, the flowers of your heart, that which is blocking you. And bow, not just in the physical body, but bow in the mind, bow in the ego, so that that experience of grace can flow even more. And as I said, as you leave, as we walk out from here, hold that space within you. Hold that space of surrender, of offering. When we make space within ourselves, grace comes. So allow that space to be there, and allow yourself to sit in that experience of openness to the light and to the grace. Yeah, so Rekhaji and Madhuji will take over for the puja.
Just one, we want to all thank on behalf of the Divine Foundation and everybody who's here. Miss Ruth Hadley, she has been wonderful, very accommodating, sorry, I'm so emotional, in helping us plan every aspect of this event, and we couldn't have done it without you, so thank you so much. Please accept your token of appreciation.
She wanted the books on
Thank you, Ms. Ruth. Really appreciate all the help.
Om Mangalam, Omkar Mangalam, Guru Mangalam, Guru Pad Mangalam.
Next time, I really honor everyone's feeling, but next time only one flower. Just one flower, that's it. Let this flower blossom on those plants, and whatever the money you spend for these flowers should send to some help for some project. It will make me very happy. Just one flower, if you want to maintain the tradition, because of that, and one mala, one flower, that's it. And the rest should be for the nature and to support our people who are really seeking for the help. God bless you all. Done? Done. Oh, great. This is a great gift you've done. Plant more trees in India, here, in other countries, wherever it's needed. It's more important. Take it.
गोविंद गुरु मेरा पार ब्रह्म गुरु भगवंत गुरु मेरी पूजा गुरु गोविंद गुरु मेरा पार ब्रह्म गुरु भगवंत गुरु मेरी पूजा गुरु मेरा ध्यान गुरु हृदय ज्ञान गुरु मेरा ध्यान गुरु हृदय ज्ञान गुरु गोविंद पुरख भगवान गुरु गोविंद पुरख भगवान गुरु मेरी पूजा गुरु गोविंद गुरु मेरा पार ब्रह्म गुरु भगवंत गुरु मेरी पूजा गुरु गोविंद गुरु मेरा पार ब्रह्म गुरु भगवंत गुरु मेरी पूजा रब मेरा सतगुरु बन कर आया मैनू देख लेने दे रब मेरा सतगुरु बन कर आया मैनू देख लेने दे मैनू देख लेने दे मत्था टेक लेने दे रब मेरा सतगुरु बन कर आया मैनू देख लेने दे गंगा जी के बड़े पुजारी गंगा जी के बड़े पुजारी जय गंगे नल दुनिया झुमाई जय गंगे नल दुनिया झुमा है जी आया गंगा तारण हारा देख लेने दे रब मेरा सतगुरु बन कर आया मैनू देख लेने दे रब मेरा सतगुरु बन कर आया मैनू देख लेने दे को ऐसा वर दो।
Take turns, so when you go, they can take your picture. Wait a minute, and listen. Okay, when they go, you can take pictures. Okay. That's right. Make sure that you are recording.
Pujya Swami just asked if all the young ones, so say everyone under 25, come back to the stage.
Can you go? Oh, sorry. Please don't walk in front of my soul. No, don't walk in front of me. Can you just take my niece and everyone let me show you?
Shakti. This is Sadhvi grew up.
गुरु का ज्ञान सीमित
बाजा बाजे वाला